Hello, good evening and welcome to Biz1st Review 360, your weekly roundup of the top business news and developments impacting the Sri Lankan economy. I'm Nadim Majid. This week we saw the fourth reshuffle of the Yahapalana government's cabinet in 3 years. Meanwhile, the rupee continues its downward spiral against the US dollar. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka, however, has maintained that this will not have a detrimental effect on Sri Lanka's external debt repayments. However, also this week, former governor of the central bank, Cabral, convened a press conference where he claimed that this would, in fact, aggravate Sri Lanka's external debt situation. Let's take a look at this week's top stories.
Fuel prices are a politically sensitive issue in Sri Lanka due to its direct impact on cost of living. Although fuel prices have shown large fluctuations in global markets in recent times, domestic retail prices have not been adjusted since 2015. The average price of crude oil imported by the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has increased by 24.8% to US dollars 57.79 per barrel in 2017 from an annual average import price of 46.30 US dollars per barrel in the previous year. The average import price of refined petroleum products also recorded a 15.7% increase from US dollars 434.62 per metric ton in 2016 to US dollars 503.06 per metric ton in 2017. An automatic pricing formula for fuel proposed under the IMF's 3-year extended fund facility, which was expected in March, is still pending. Non-adjustment of domestic market prices in response to increasing petroleum prices in the global market has weakened the financial performance of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation. The central bank reveals by end 2017, the accumulated losses of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation amounted to 217.3 billion rupees. Senior Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe said, delaying an automatic pricing formula for fuel will make the debt management of loss-making Ceylon Petroleum Corporation difficult in the wake of rising global oil prices.
This pricing formula is necessary. That's also, I don't think the government should have done it a lot earlier, in my view. So there's a delay. This pricing formula, if you look at even without pricing formula, before last time the fuel prices adjusted locally in Sri Lanka was January 2015. Before that, even without a pricing formula, there were, the regular adjustment in domestic fuel prices just to reflect global prices. From 2015 January so far, this is the longest period in the recent history that fuel prices are not adjusted. Global price came down to $40 a barrel, now $74 a barrel. Don't blame the depreciation. This is 45 to 74%. It's almost 100% value in global. So when you have that kind of situation, if any government which has delayed this thing, is obviously going to face a difficult problem in terms of managing macroeconomic, managing CPC, all these things. If global prices are higher, obviously that consumer will have to pay that. And I just got some numbers. Right now, retail prices of petrol, diesel in the region is the lowest in Sri Lanka. Even India it is higher. In terms of US dollar cents, India, Bangladesh area, petrol prices are higher.
Speaking at a media briefing, the former governor of the central bank, Dr. Cabral, said the government lacks the goodwill to address the issue.
If the government wishes to increase the price of petroleum, they can do it now. They don't need a pricing formula. I explained this earlier to the gentleman who asked me that question. Government only needs to have the intention. This government is very good at hiding. They want to increase the price, but they want to hide behind the formula. When they decrease the price, did they say you want a formula? Twice they decreased the prices. Did anyone say we want a formula? Did the government say we want a formula? No. So the long and short of it is, they can do it if they wish to. IMF is the facade. But the government must take bold steps if they wish to. Government has now got into this trouble because at the time that they brought in the reduction in petroleum, the rupee was at 130. They enjoyed that. Today they have to pay 155, 159 to buy a single dollar to pay for the petroleum. So naturally there is another 20% increase there. That time the oil prices were about $70 for a barrel at the time that we left office. Then fortunately for them, it came down dramatically after that. So they gave that benefit and the rupee benefit both to the people to some extent. What happened? Now prices have inched up and also rupee has gone up. So both those factors are biting them. They can't go on for too long. It's only a matter of time. Very soon they'll find that they're unable to cope. Petroleum Corporation, which made a 45 billion rupee profit in 2016, has made only a 5 billion rupee profit in 2017. Why? Because these prices are now biting. 2018, I'm sure they are making losses. Electricity Board has made a 45 billion rupee loss last year. Now it is biting them also. So IMF is naturally screaming. The IMF will say, we cannot give you money unless and until you adjust and you have a political will to make these decisions. Government doesn't have the political goodwill to take the decisions. They know that they cannot increase the prices. That is why they are postponing it. So to that extent, I think they are in real trouble. They are close to being checkmated and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. So if you cannot fix it, just throw them out. If a batsman comes to the team and for 3, 4, 5 matches he's scoring naught and misses the catches, what will you do to him? Will you play him? You will drop him and put somebody else. So actually we have had instances where we have managed bigger situations than this, but you have to manage it. I don't think these guys can. They just can't.
The best solution which the government should go for now is to go for this fuel formula, and if the government doesn't do it because of the elections that it has to face in the next 2-year period, the result would be the said Petroleum Corporation would be incurring losses.
Do you think the government could buy more time from the IMF because the next tranche would depend on...
I mean, the IMF tranche is simply about, say, 300 to 400 million US dollars, which is nothing when we compare with the requirements of the country. Even at this stage, the government can do without the IMF tranche. What would happen to government is if they lost the next tranche, the government would lose the credibility and it will have to pay some additional rate when they borrow money from the international market. And probably government might decide to go for that rather than angering the public of the country by going for the fuel formula. So those are actually political decisions that are made not in the interest of the long-term economic growth but in the interest of surviving in power. So which is not good for Sri Lanka today.
The Planters Association of Ceylon said the lifting of glyphosate ban for the tea and rubber industries will help to increase the yields and boost export earnings.
The current lifting of the ban is most welcome since the industry could get back to its potential where the yields and production is concerned. When the ban was brought in, the industry was suffering with very low prices in tea, which with the ban, this situation became worse.
The Planters Association claims the ban on glyphosate without an alternative has caused crop losses of 25 billion rupees over 3 years.
We estimate at least a 15% drop in our crop annually, and for the last 3 years we would have lost almost about 45 million kilos of tea. This may be valued at about approximately 20 to 25 billion rupees for the regional plantation sector. With the ban being lifted, I am sure the industry will gain immensely with the crop being increased and the potential yields being achieved by the plantation companies. Also, we would be able to enjoy these premium prices if we make sure that we keep on catering to the Japanese market, which is an important market for the industry.
The industry says the ban also impacted exports.
VIP Night, a staff get-together of the Merchant Bank, was held at Stein Studios in Ratmalana to felicitate employees who have completed 10 years in service.
Mr. Lover, lover, now Mr. Lover, lover, Mr. Lover, lover, now Mr. Lover, lover, girl, Mr. Lover, lover, now Mr. Lover, lover. Baby girl, I said tonight is your lucky night. Peter Andre along with Bubbler and Scarly behind. I stop and stare at you.
The event, which was organized by the Welfare and Recreation Club of the bank, also held a competition to select the MBSL King and Queen for 2018. The chief guest of the event was Dr. Sujiva Lokuheva, chairman of the Merchant Bank. The board of directors, CEO Mr. Nishamin Karunapala, corporate management and the staff of 49 branches and service departments also attended the event.
This get-together is attended by our colleagues from other branches across the country. They have come here to join the employees of the head office. We are hoping to enhance the strength of our bank and mutual relationships between the employees of our organization.
Stay tuned to the Review 360. Coming up on the other side of this break, tourism. Welcome back to the program. The Sri Lanka Association of Inbound Tour Operators has expressed concerns over the government's soft peddling on the issue of unauthorized or illegal constructions along the coast. The SLITO has cautioned that they are responsible for the safety and security of the tourists that they bring into the country, and have said that they will be watching this situation as it develops very closely. I spoke to the president of SLITO, or the Sri Lanka Association of Inbound Tour Operators, regarding the upcoming Sancharaka Udawa exhibition and also the challenges facing the tourism industry in Sri Lanka. Mr. Pereira, thank you very much for taking time off. A very busy time for you, I know, and for talking to us at Biz1st. First of all, congratulations on organizing a very successful exhibition. What are you really hoping for out of Sancharaka Udawa 2018 this year?
I think our objectives have always been the same. What we are trying to do is give all our tourism suppliers an opportunity for them to interact with the buyers, and just that this time we have taken that to another level. We have got the outbound travelers also to come in and showcase their products. We have also got some of the universities. We felt from the tourism point of view, their interconnection and the engagement with the academic institution is very less. So we got them also involved this year. So it has become sort of a more diverse sort of a trade fair this time.
Hospitality and tourism management, you mentioned getting universities and academics also involved in this. Hospitality and tourism management, hotel management has become a very popular course for young Sri Lankans who are looking at their higher education prospects. Do you see with Sancharaka Udawa, with events like this, how do you see the industry growing into the future?
Well, it's all about creating a demand for the destination. I think that's the key point we need to focus on. When there's a demand, with that comes the capacity in beds, new hotels, niche markets. With that comes transport. With that comes more airlines coming in. So when the capacity increases, I'll take a hotel for an example, that requires service staff personnel. We need stewards, we need chefs, we need engineering people, we need room maintenance people. So there are a lot of jobs created with that. But it all comes down with the creation of demand.
Mr. Pereira, also this is questions are being asked these days about the safety of tourists visiting Sri Lanka. Now this came to light following an incident in Mirissa where a group of young Dutch tourists were assaulted by a group of so-called beach boys. When you have such incidents, we know that Sligo, for example, the Association of Inbound Tour Operators, said that this needs to be addressed. This is an issue of serious concern. How should you go about addressing it, especially given that now we see that the authorities have sort of backpedaled on the announcement that unauthorized constructions along the coastline would be removed?
See, this harassment of tourists, this sort of sexual harassment happens all over the world. Sri Lanka is no exception. In fact, Sri Lanka track record is very low. So I'm not really worried about the safety. What I'm worried is when something like that happens, the authorities need to act. They need to act fast. They need to really go hard on the culprits and get them into the books. Now, when that doesn't happen, it becomes very worrying. And the Mirissa incident is a fantastic example of there are so many illegal construction, so many without SLTDA license or regulation, so many without the liquor license. I mean, you need to respect the law of the land, and the regulation and the laws are very much there. It's a matter of going and getting the culprits into book. So when that doesn't happen, it's worrying. But the sexual harassment assault case, not that I'm supporting it, but that happens anywhere in the world.
At the same time, we saw in media interviews, speaking to journalists and speaking to others as well, a lot of the people who are working in these kinds of establishments, these unauthorized establishments, they say, look, this is our livelihood, this is our bread and butter. But there are a few bad apples who are spoiling the entire barrel, who are indisciplined, unruly and untrained, etc. How can you sort of address this problem in a holistic way that addresses their concerns as well, the concerns of the people who are working in this informal tourism industry?
Okay. See, what happens is, I'll take Mirissa as a classic example. If you don't look after the reputation and the image of Mirissa, none of them are going to have jobs. None of those establishments are going to survive. So we need to look after the interest of it. How you sustain such places and such hotels is having standards, regulation, the authorities support. That's how you sustain it. If everybody is doing everything what they want to do, that's not a sustainable model. So I think what the SLTDA, the Tourism Authority, is trying to do is to get them, most of these establishments and the so-called beach boys, into the formal sector, give them training, give them regulation, give them license, so that they can practice what they are doing. At no point SLTDA nor the industry wants to kick them out. We want to get them into our fold.
Because the services that they offer also, there's also a niche there, with, surfing schools and diving schools, etc.
Sri Lanka is a beach destination. Beach boys are here to stay. And beach destinations have the surfing school, which is done by the locals themselves. There's no running away from that. But you need to have some sort of a regulation and standard so that the qualities are maintained.
We're going for a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about promoting Sri Lanka as a tourism destination. Welcome back. We're in conversation with Mr. Harit Pereira, the president of the Sri Lanka Association of Inbound Tour Operators. We're at Sancharaka Udava 2018, the annual flagship event that's organized by Sligo, an exhibition that brings together hospitality and tourism suppliers to discuss ways in taking the industry forward as well. Now, with events like this, Sligo has been doing this for how many years consecutively?
8 years.
For 8 years consecutively. What would you like to see happen on the part of the authorities, the Tourism Promotion Bureau, the Tourism Development Authority, the Ministry of Tourism, and even local government, provincial councils? What is it that you want to see from government to really take Sri Lanka as a tourism destination to the next level? And also, what is it we mean when we say we have to take Sri Lanka to the next level as a tourism destination?
Okay, that's an interesting question, because I think I think that's the fundamental big problem we have, which is we need to have one clear goal, where all the authorities, the development boards, the associations, the regional tourist board, all are aligned and work towards one goal. So they have developed a tourism plan for 2020 by the Sri Lanka SLTDA, Tourism Development Authority. And so I think the blueprint is there. It's a matter of getting the engagement and the commitment of all the apex bodies. I find the model where Australia and New Zealand has, where there's all these associations, LITO, TASL, various boards we have, the Conventions Bureau, the Promotional Bureau, the Development Authority, all they report to one apex body, and there's one single head who will lead the direction together with the President or the Prime Minister of the country, and all these apex bodies will report to him. Now that will streamline and structure the whole goal, the whole goal.
And it also gives direction when making policies regarding the tourism sector as well.
That's right. So I think that's something they are trying to do, and I hope we fast track that. And if we try to achieve at least 50% of it within the next 1-2 years, we should see some good results.
When talking about Sri Lanka in the current context, we saw recently an image, rather depressing image, that was making the rounds on social media of this sloth bear in Yala surrounded by about 10 safari jeeps. And this is an issue that not just the social justice warriors, but ordinary people also have been saying, look, this is a very serious issue that we need to address. Are we going for quality? Are we going for quantity over quality? So in Sri Lanka, are we going for quantity over quality?
I think first I'll tackle the Yala one. I think that's a very good point you raised. I think Yala is, it's my opinion, Yala is going to have a lot of issues in time to come unless we control it and we have a sustainable model there. If you take example of Pinnavela, we had the same issues there, and most of the European tour operators have banned us taking our guests there. So Pinnavela has seen a rapid decrease in volumes. Now Yala is beginning to see that. There's over-visitation and there's overcrowding. I want to explain the difference. Over-visitation is number of vehicles that go in. Overcrowded is when you see, say, a sloth bear, there are 40 vehicles surrounding it. In our opinion, and as per the experts of wildlife, overcrowding is the worst part. Over-visitation, 400, 500 vehicles, Yala can handle because Yala is so big. But overcrowding, where you see a sloth bear or a leopard, people call on mobiles, 30 jeeps come from, in various speeds, having no respect for the speed limits or the animals to show the animal. Now that is very dangerous. So unless there's regulation and control, Yala will see a drop. And I know for a fact a lot of the travel agents are now featuring other wildlife parks like Wilpattu and Udawalawe instead of Yala.
Whose responsibility is it to ensure that, a set of rules, I'm sure there already must be certain rules in place. I mean, there are times at which you can visit Yala, there are times at which you can't go. Whose responsibility is it? Is it the park rangers, the Department of Wildlife Conservation, or should the Tourism Ministry be taking an active role in it? Where does the buck stop?
I think from the knowledge I have, I think it's the park rangers and the Wildlife Authority who has full control over it. It's very tough for the Tourism Ministry to go and police jeeps and all that. So there are experts in the Wildlife Ministry who can do that, and they have done it in various other countries. If you take India, there are parks, there's only 30 vehicles that go for a day, and the 31st vehicle has to wait till the other vehicle comes out for them to go in. So there's a regulation happening in our neighbors in Asia. I can't see the reason why we can't do it here. Having said that, I think the regulation and the rules, maybe the theoretical part or the blueprint part is written somewhere. Implementation is very slow. Implementation is at times halted. Implementation is not allowed due to various reasons. And that is a concern for us, and that shows that we are not taking all these matters seriously.
When you come to the quality versus quantity debate, an example that a lot of people highlight is Bhutan, where you don't have a lot of people visiting the country annually, but tourism is still a major earner of foreign revenue for the country. That's because It's tough to get there, but there is a lot to offer as well. And it's costly to go there, so there's a very niche sort of market of tourists that actually go there. Do you think that sort of system is feasible in Sri Lanka? Because just looking around here, you see like 250 stalls, people offering all kinds of different supplies. Is it feasible to run that kind of system?
I don't know about the feasibility part, but what I can say is Sri Lanka has more diverse products. Sri Lanka is much bigger, has more to offer. So I don't think we should take a restrictive approach like Bhutan, which has, I would say, less to offer than a diverse Sri Lanka. But I like their concept of having a plan. And they have decided they want this segment, and they have done things to control that. Now we, in turn, at times we are looking at volumes, we are talking of high-end products. If you take all the new properties that are coming in are some of the boutique ones, but at the same time we are looking at charter flights from Asian countries, so that there's a bit of a mismatch at times. So unless we have one policy document, one strategy, one global marketing plan, where we all stakeholders know that this is the way we need to go. If we do that, and we have the engagement and the commitment of all stakeholders, that's something you can go forward with. But Bhutan is a very nice example, but I don't think that's relevant to Sri Lanka.
Thank you again, Harit, for taking time off to talk to us about Sanchara Udawa and the different things that you have planned, that your hopes and aspirations really for the tourism industry. So there you have it, one direction, one aim, one goal. Is that the recipe that will take Sri Lanka tourism to the next level? And that's the wrap of Biz1st Review 360. Don't forget to look us up on Facebook. I'll see you again, same time, same place next week. Until then, good night and good luck.